Greetings, my name is Martin. You may remember me from YouTube videos such as a look at the first 7 tier sets, Death Knight, Evoker, Hunter, and 3D Artist is checking out the final 3 tier sets of WoW Midnight Season 1. In today's probably rather short video, I want to summarize and rank my findings of this little video series in the form of a tier list for World of Warcraft Midnight Season 1. Obviously, if you haven't seen the video series, it is available on my channel for you to be watched and can be found by either clicking the link in the top right corner or by checking out the video description. But now, without further ado, this is the Eye of Kilrock. Let's look into that. Death Knight. I think the headpiece has an amazing expression, the shoulders look great and the light effects work very well with all colorways, even though it is clear that the Frost version was the initial intention, as it is evident from the icicles. At this point there's also an unholy version which was still missing back when I looked at the set the first time. If you want to see the more elaborate review of the DK set, by the way, I'll make sure to link the video up here in the corner. But DK is definitely a winner of this patch. However, I think the gloves don't look all that nice, and also the entire skirt situation may work for a paladin or shaman, but not for a Death Knight in my opinion. And I also haven't seen anyone who disagrees with that statement yet. So while I can't give the DK S tier, this is definitely a great set and therefore A tier. Next up, the Demon Hunter, the Fel Reaver set as I call it. I don't know what the official title is yet. I can't really complain about anything. The now added light effects are also pretty cool. Those mystic kind of horns on top. It's a fun addition and I feel like they really make the colors pop a lot more than without the effect. The colorways work fairly well for the most part. We have a couple of Void themed sets, but also some Fel sets. I'm not a big fan of this yellow golden version, but in my opinion the set overall is among the best Demon Hunter sets so far. I like the theme, I like the design, I like the colors, and there's nothing I really dislike. Guess that makes it our first S tier set of the season. The Druid. I've got to be honest, this one is so close to go into S, but if you've seen my video on the Druid, you know what I was hoping for, and at this point we know it's not happening. The blossoms on the shoulders unfortunately will not open up as a unique animation. The light effect is cool but fairly basic with these insects in the light or whatever. I still love the amber tips and the wood texture all over the model. The blossoms are cool, the horns are cool, the leaves work well, and the fact that so many druid themes from basic forest over Ardenweald, the Emerald Nightmare, and even the Druids of the Flame are covered is really nice. But without the blossoms opening, I refuse to give the Druid an S tier this time around. This is a very good A tier. Evoker. Again, if you've seen the video on the Evoker set, you will know how impressed I was with all the little details. The gemstones, the etching or engraving on the mask, shoulders and belt, on the intricate little designs down here, and just the overall vibe besides the shoes. But I've also accepted that goofy looking shoes are part of the Evoker appeal. Now, at the end of the day, there's always the question if the Evoker should be allowed to get a good rating in any appearance list at all, as most of the set will never be seen as long as the Dracthyr is out of its visage form. But I think the attention to detail and overall design, as well as the extra amazing black dragonflight version, makes this another S tier. Next up, we have a bit of a questionable case, the Mage. I still like most of the things about the set. The hood, the balls, the papers and scrolls, the neat little lines on the cloth, especially here on the brighter version with the gold. I also think the light effect is cool, even though nothing all that special again. This being said, I'm still not sure about this shoes situation though. The shoes on the monk set, which is coming up in a minute, have been adjusted, but the overall style remained the same. And in the case of the mage, that's a massive downer for me. I wouldn't know which class fantasy this is supposed to fit, especially combined with the extremely high class luxury vibe of the rest of the set. In addition to that, not including a fire themed set when we have 6 colorways available and 3 specs, with Sun Fury and Frost Fire even having 2 fire themed hero specs. Not having a fire themed tier set is just wrong. So while the set would have potential for an A tier set, I can't find myself giving it any more than a B for decent. Coming to the monk, and while I had very mixed feelings the first time around, this set actually was not only missing the gloves at the time, but also got reworked shoes and a reworked chest and a reworked belt or legs, I'm not sure which one, but this piece here was missing as well. That additional chain around the chest was also missing. I actually think the chain around the chest is a little too much, especially from the backside, where it just messes up the fairly clean design and then clips through the cloak here. Just why? But other than that, I really like what they did here. I was already a big fan of the back and entire top half of the set in terms of the colorways. I have mixed feelings. I don't like either of the PvP variants a whole lot, nor the purple version, so I'm having a hard time to grant it the S tier, but it is definitely a great set and it might be even closer to the S tier than the Druid. So A tier for the monk. The Paladin. Now, I have a big personal bias on this set, and I fully understand if you disagree, but in my opinion, this set is among the best Paladin sets ever made because of its simplicity. We have so many over-the-top Paladin sets, massive wings, crazy lights, floating crowns, Power Ranger, Gundam, armors. This one is so basic, yet still extremely powerful and well designed, with so many of the beloved elements we know from Paladin sets. So I get it, if you're into the wings and the massive lights, you will not like this set. And to be entirely honest, I also only really dig the LFR and the Blood Knight version of the set. But they are enough. I'm sure the other ones can be sourced for some fun transmog pieces, but the LFR and Elite Gladiator set are just on point. So like it or not, this one goes S tier. And we stick with the holy theme. It's time for the priest. And what can I say? The light effect makes it a little bit better, but overall the set just doesn't work in my opinion. The mix of Valkyr and earthen or dwarven design simply doesn't fit. The Valkyr headpiece looks extremely weird and out of place, even though I like the idea behind the shoulders. They're also just don't work very well in my opinion. I think this would have worked better if the Valkyr were the entire shape of the shoulders instead of placing them on top of this base shoulder design. It's just too much going on visually. It works a little better in the golden sets because they have less contrast and they just overall have this holy glow, which just works a little bit better. I'd actually love to see this Valkyr theme redone in a future set without the dwarven influences and some really cool colors, and we'll have a candidate for an S tier set. Like this, however, it's honestly kinda bad. So C tier for priests. The rogue. Honestly, it's too many daggers. I'm sorry, but 3 on each arm, daggers on the boots, daggers on the hip, daggers on the chest, daggers on the back. Come on! I also really dislike this type of half mask, and while I do like most of the details they have carried over from the last tier set, which I liked a lot, like the ball and spikes combination on the shoulder, the kilted leather, the neat little detail of the dirt gradient on the cloak, I would prefer to see more different styles of tier sets in connected seasons. This can always be some sort of throwback a couple of years from now. They are always fun and often even unnoticed by the majority of the community, but these two are a little too close for my taste. Nonetheless, it's a great set. It has extremely cool colorways. Thanks to Legion Remix, I also learned that the black and yellow are the colors of the House Ravenhold, which makes total sense for a rogue set. So without further ado, this goes A tier, a great set for rogues. Shaman. We talked a lot about how great this set is in the corresponding videos, so there is really only one place to go. I absolutely adore this set. From the looks of it, I'll have to go for Arena PvP with my Shaman this season because the fire version, it's just amazing. I have to have it. No other option than S tier for the Shaman. Warrior. I really dislike this style at this point. First of all, I don't even think that it fits the warrior at all in the first place. I prefer the cannonball type of sets or just something that is more orcish than basic barbarian. This is just chaos barbarian meets Viking kind of style, and it would fit way better into the Warhammer than the Warcraft universe. The weird Titan mask, the fur bits, the horns on the shoulders, and on top of that, it has all the same elements as the Season 1 set of The War Within. I mean, did you even notice that I showed you the Season 1 set from War Within the entire time? This is the actual Midnight set. I'm sorry, but for me, that's an F tier. If you dig the vibe and have this kind of out of the ordinary class fantasy for any of your characters, that's cool, I guess. But with all the hero specs being dwarf themed and the rest of the class being Titan or Blade Master or just basic warrior themed, I just don't think budget Vrykul is something a whole lot of people identify with. Sorry. And don't even get me started on the cringy Power Ranger color schemes. Time for something nice to finish the video. The Warlock set. And what can I say? The mask is so badass, the entire shoulder and horn and chain situation just becoming a freaking infernal. And then the blue and purple version for the Gladiator. I will be playing a whole lot of PvP in Midnight to get all of these amazing sets. Shaman, Warlock, Paladin, but especially on the side of Warlock, I still find only one downside. It may work better on characters with broader shoulders, and right now I main an undead warlock, so I may have to look into that. Besides that, this set is mega. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think this is among the coolest warlock sets of all time, and considering how many amazing warlock sets we've seen over the years, it is also among the best sets we've ever had in World of Warcraft. This piece is an absolute banger, and I can't wait to collect every single version of it. And that wraps it up. I have a filled S tier with the Demon Hunter, the Evoker, the Paladin, the Shaman, and the Warlock. We have an A tier for great sets with the Death Knight, the Druid, the Monk, and the Rogue. Due to lacking shoes and a missing fire set, the mage only made it into B tier, decent. Followed by the Priest in a kinda bad C tier, and the both very unfortunate class sets for Warrior and Hunter all the way down in F tier. Please, Blizzard, start over, redesign those sets, they are awful. Now that's of course just my personal opinion. Whether you agree or disagree, feel free to leave a comment. I also have a video about class fantasy coming up, so maybe you can give me some input on how you feel your class fantasy represented by any of these sets or what you are missing. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and make sure to subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Also, let me know what you would like to see in the future. It's going to be close to half a year until we get the next tier sets to review. So what are we looking at until then? Should I do a deep dive into the design of sets I personally find special? Should I rank best class sets of all time or of each expansion? Let me know. I am open for anything. I'm only starting out with this channel and take every bit of input into consideration. But now let's come to an end with this. This was the Eye of Kilrock. See you next time.